Hi everyone, it's Susan Reynolds, your Karmic Astrologer, and I'm here today to talk to you about the month of May. And if you were born roughly between April 21st and May 20th, you were born under the sign of the Bull, and you are a Taurus. So congratulations, you are one of the most stubborn signs in the zodiac. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Taurus is a fixed sign, meaning that it is going to stay the course. It's not some some sign that rushes around trying to try out every new thing and change their mind every 2 minutes. There's a loyalty to this sign that is quite beautiful. The planet that rules Taurus is Venus. So they are about love and kindness and harmony and comfort. The symbol is the bull. Yeah, the bull. They charge ahead. Now, most of us have heard about the legendary temper of Taurus. And if you meet a Taurus in person, you're going to think astrology knows nothing because these are the kindest, sweetest, most placid, easygoing people you're ever going to meet. And you're right to a degree. 95% of the time, you're going to be right. But that other 5% of the time is when you're never going to forget. Don't rouse that legendary Taurus temper. It will knock you to the ground. I don't mean they're physically violent or angry, but when you anger the bull, you know it, and they're going to let you know it, and it's going to come out, and it's going to surprise you. But then they're back to being their normal, placid, loving, quiet self. So you just, did I imagine that? Is that really who they are? So it's like that 95% angel and 5% don't mess with me kind of thing. So this is a sign who is going to stay the course. That stubbornness serves them well in many ways because they're not going to cut and run at the first sign of trouble. This is a sign that is still on their first marriage. This is a sign that has worked for 30 years for the same company. This is a sign that's going to have your back. They're going to be a loyal friend, a loyal partner, a loyal business acquaintance or vendor or whatever it is. They're going to stick by you and they expect the same thing. So they're surprised when other people don't keep their word or walk away half done. If you're working on a project with a Taurus, they're going to make sure it's done. They're going to make sure it's completed and seen through to the finish. So they're wonderful to work with. But you have to give them a lot of lead time to get them to change their mind. Sometimes getting the sun to come out at night is easier than getting a Taurus to change their mind. You cannot just go in and go, oh, I know we thought we were going to go to Europe this year, but let's go to Asia or take a cruise around the world. They're going to be like, what? No, no. Their sudden change is upsetting for them. They need time to come to terms with that. So if you want to do something different, you have to give this sign a little bit more lead time than you will, let's say, a Gemini who's ready to change their mind on the spot. So start to talk about it a month ahead. What do you think about this? Give them some time, then bring it up again. We could save some money if we went here instead of there, kind of thing. They'll think about it. They may not say anything about it, but then they'll come back and they'll be able to say, well, what about this? What about that? And they'll talk about it with you. But when you spring things on them suddenly, like a massive change, it's upsetting, it's agitating to them. And their normal reaction is just like, dig my heels in. This is scary. I'm going to stand my ground. So you have to work with them on their terms to make sure they can hear you and work with you. But they are so sweet, so kind, so loving. Venus wants a comfortable life. So this is not necessarily the party animal. They want to save some money. They want to own their own home. They want to own their own car. Chances are they started a savings account very young. Maybe they started mowing lawns or babysitting as a teenager. They're putting that money away. Taurus thinks about their financial future. This is one of the two money signs. And many times Taurus will go into some sort of money field as a profession. They're CPAs and accountants and investment people and the CFO of a company and this kind of thing. They understand dollars and cents. They understand numbers. They understand savings. They have a generous heart, but they're going to ask you some questions. What's my return on this investment? What kind of interest are you charging? They're going to dig down and ask some things because they understand money. And that's a gift, and not every sign has that. So they're usually wonderful at using their savings, their accumulated wealth, income, whatever you want to call it, to ensure a comfortable life, a nice car, a good home, some retirement savings accounts. You want Taurus in your corner. They're not going to yell and scream and shout for attention. They can be very humble, they can be very self-effacing, but they just move in and they get the job done. So don't underestimate this sign because they're powerful in their own right. So happy birthday, Taurus. I hope you have a wonderful May. If every sign, whatever you are, wants to know what is going on with you for the month of May, go to my website, www.exploreastrology, and I have free predictions on my website for every one of the 12 signs. So go in, check it out, and see what's going on for you for the month of May. Have a great month, everyone. Bye.